Hello, and welcome to the Killer Cuties podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Cassidy, and I've seen almost every horror movie out there.
And I'm KD, and I've seen almost none of them.
So join us each week as I attempt to make a horror fan out of Katie.
As a warning, we will be discussing spoilers and some uncomfortable topics that may be in the plots, so feel free to check out the film on doesthedogdie.com first to check for any triggers before listening.
Today we're going to be talking about the 2022 American comedy horror film, The Menu. Let's get spooky.
We're going to kick it off with a quick summary. So, The Menu is a 2022, which is our newest movie that we've reviewed so far, black comedy horror film starring Anya Taylor Joy, Ralph Fiennes, and Nicholas Hoult. Margot and Tyler have reservations at an exclusive restaurant on a private island where they get a tasting menu from celebrity chef Julian Slowik. When they arrive on the island, we find out that Margot was not Tyler's original date, which comes in later. Inside the restaurant, we get to meet a really motley crew of diners. There's a food critic, a wealthy elderly couple that frequents the restaurant, a movie star and his assistant, a group of entitled fintech bros, and the chef's mother. She's sitting kind of off to the side and just drinking. Each course that Chef Slowik and his incredibly large team of sous chefs deliver becomes increasingly more unsettling. So one features a slab of meat with scissors stuck in them, which we find out is an ode to the time that Slowik needed to stab his drunk father in the leg. They laser print guests' darkest secrets on tortillas. A sous commits suicide in front of the guests. And it's about at that point that the staff makes it very clear that nobody may leave by cutting off somebody's finger. Sloik finally explains that the guests were invited because they exploit the work of artists or personally contributed to Sloik losing his passion as a chef. He tells everybody that nobody can leave and everybody's going to die. Then we find out that Margot is an escort that Tyler hired to accompany him instead of his ex girlfriend, despite knowing that everybody at the experience would be killed. This leads to Sloik forcing Tyler to cook for him, insulting that cooking, and then ordering him to hang himself. Margot pretty desperately tries to escape at one point, and in a last ditch effort, after discovering that Sloik began his career as a cheeseburger cook, asks him to cook her a cheeseburger. He finds his joy in cooking again while making the cheeseburger, and there's this like beautiful montage of him cooking it, um, and allows Margot to take it to go, so she escapes. And the rest of the guests, in the meantime, dress up as marshmallows and get turned into s'mores. And that's the end.
That's the movie.
Mhm.
I'm personally very excited to talk about this. Um, because it's the first time that I think we vehemently disagree on the movie itself.
Yes.
I
Yes.
loved it.
Did you really?
I really did. It was so much fun to watch. And it was funny. I did not expect it to be as funny as it was. Like there were moments I was actually laughing out loud. I had a blast.
I mean, I thought there were definitely some funny parts. I laughed,
Mhm.
but it didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Katie messaged me right after she finished watching it and just said, I hated it. I was like, uh-oh. And I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I
And
loved it.
I was the one that said, "We should watch this."
Yeah.
Like, let's throw this into our rotation, and I'm really excited about it, and literally the next day, I'm like, I changed my mind.
You not wanting to talk about it made me really want to talk about it.
I know.
Because
I know.
they, up until now, we've pretty much kind of agreed on things.
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. I thought it was like it was good. It had good satire about the rich. I feel like everyone who's worked in the service industry knows those characters. Like they weren't even that much of an
Sure.
exaggeration of like the entitled snobby customers you can get.
That's true, that's true. Definitely an accurate representation of working in the service industry, I think.
Mhm.
Have you been a server or worked in the food industry at all?
Yes, I was a hostess and a carryout. I didn't actually do serving, um, and then I worked in retail. So pick your
You've been
poison.
there.
I've dealt with shitty customers.
Same, same.
Yeah. But I don't know. I love a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, especially a horror movie. It's like it was really goofy and kind of ridiculous and over the top, and I love that it leaned into that because we just covered The Mist last week, and I feel like this had what that was kind of missing. Like The Mist took itself too seriously, and it would have been better if they had added comedy into it. And I feel like this movie literally did not take itself seriously at all. It was like, yeah, we have a message, but like also let's dress people up as s'mores and kill them.
I think that might be why I didn't like it, because I went into it taking it very seriously. I was
Oh.
like, "This is gonna be about, eat the rich, um, I'm gonna have to use big brain time to understand it."
Mm.
So, I tried to read into everything, I don't know, it just was not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely went into it knowing that it was gonna be a horror comedy. Like, I don't know if you ever watched the trailer or anything like that, but I
I
had.
didn't even know it was supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah. That then I could see how that might, tarnish it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, in the trailer, it shows the part where, like, after, like, they've been chased around this island and people have, you know, committed suicide in front of them and someone lost their finger. Like they bring out a cake for one of the fintech bros. And they're like, "You told them it was my birthday?" And he's like, "Yeah, I thought it'd be funny at the time." Like, that was in the trailer. So like you kind of knew the vibes that it was going
Okay.
for. But I completely understand. It's not a movie for everyone. It definitely feels like a love it or hate it type.
Yeah.
And it honestly kind of reminded me of Barbarian in that sense. Like I know in that like when we talked about that movie, I said that I couldn't really think of another movie with like the same tone, but I feel
Mm.
like this one kind of came close to it. Like just weird, funny, but also horror elements, but I do think Barbarian had more horror elements in it than this one did.
Was Barbarian supposed to be funny?
Yeah. I think we talked
Yeah,
about this in that
not
episode
that
too, where you did not think it was that funny, and I had moments where I was genuinely laughing at the movie too.
yeah. Okay, so we're learning here that horror comedy is not, it just goes over my head. But I liked Barbarian.
Yeah. I think Barbarian had less comedy elements in it than this did.
Okay.
Um, but yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Did you think about
Uh,
like the performances at least?
yes.
Okay.
Acting spot on. The one thing that threw me off about the acting though was that once I heard it, I could not stop hearing Sid the Sloth.
Sorry, from who?
The actor that plays
Oh,
Sid
from
the Sloth.
I was like thinking of the like four main characters, not John Leguizamo, who is in it. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I did not even think about that when I was watching it.
Yeah, it really threw me off.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah, I feel like if they didn't have as strong of actors though, it might not have landed as well. Like obviously Anya Taylor Joy and Ralph Fiennes were fantastic. They always
Mhm,
are, you know. But like I feel like the real standout to me like was Hong Chow who played Elsa, the maitre d'. Like she was amazing. Her comedic
mhm.
timing was so fucking good. And fun fact, which shout out to our friend Moogie who actually first told me this, but Hong Chow was apparently so convincing in her role that Dominique Crenn, who's a 3 Michelin star restaurant owner, and she was a consultant on the film,
Yeah, the
asked
cook element.
Hong Chow to work in her restaurant after watching her on set. And like, what better compliment as an actor than for someone to be like, wait a minute, you could you could do this job you're pretending to do.
Yeah. That's wild. Congrats to her, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's so
I mean, I
fun.
don't know if she took it because she's an actress, but like,
Well, yeah, of
I
course,
feel
but
like
still,
but yeah, I was like,
the
"That's"
compliment alone.
yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Um, the scene with the tortillas.
Mhm.
What what is this? A tortilla.
Tortilla deliciosa.
Yeah, that part got me. That part, I was laughing out loud, and then the after all the men have to go and, like,
Mhm.
beetle their way, across the island to try to escape, and one of them is hiding in the chicken coop, and you just see this hand with a dessert come into the chicken coop.
Yes.
That killed me too.
I liked when they were all running because they give the men a chance to escape at one point. They capture them all again, but, like, they just tell them, like, "Run. It's an island." Like, I don't know where they thought they were gonna go, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're running, and, like, the fintech bros are, like, running away, and they're just like, "Stop! Stop running next to me! Stop running next to me!" And I was like, "That's us playing Dead by Daylight for sure." The
Yes.
killer's chasing
True.
us, and we're like, "Stop running next to me."
You're sandbagging me.
Yeah,
Big sneaks energy.
yeah, shout out to Sneaks. Um, I did like, though, that there wasn't cannibalism.
See, that's what I thought we were getting into. That's what I was expecting, is we were gonna
Yes.
eat people. The mom
Mhm.
was gonna end up on a plate, I was so sure.
Yeah. So when I first heard of this movie, I figured food, horror, it's gonna be cannibalism. And
Mhm.
so I was happy that they went a different route with it because I feel like it would have been too obvious if they had done that.
That's true.
Because like that's what everyone was thinking it was gonna be, right? Like
I thought for sure. I was
yeah.
like, he's gonna use this analogy of, you gave me life, and now in your death, you're also gonna give me life by eating her.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, I should write for this movie," but
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely thought. I mean, I think by like halfway through, I was like, okay, it's not. That's not the vibe of this movie, which I was happy about. But, like, I know like some people even still are like, oh no, like he used Tyler's meat for the burger or whatever. But like, no, they didn't have time to grind that up and shit.
no.
There is a
When
theory too that she didn't that Margot didn't actually survive because at the beginning when Elsa is showing the guests around the island and they show the smokehouse that they use to
Mhm.
like smoke the meats and they smoke it for like 152 days or something like
Ye
that. And so like people had theories that he used expired meat from that because she says if it's 153 days then you'll drop dead. Which isn't true. But so they had
Oh.
theories that he used that meat, but the director himself has said no, she lived. Like the whole point was that she said none of that fancy art bullshit. Give me a real burger. So
Mhm.
that has been debunked.
Sad, because that's kind of a fun theory.
It was, but I also like wanted her to live.
True.
Like how fucked up is that? Like you're an escort and your guest is just like, oh, by the way, I took you to get murdered. What the fuck?
Literally paid for you to die.
Yeah, excuse me?
Yeah.
Tyler was the worst.
Oh my god. That speaking of standout performances, I have almost never hated somebody more in a
Yeah,
movie, and I've said that a couple, but
that's
for
true.
real this time, really hated
Yeah.
it.
And Nicholas Hoult played it really well.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, like, he did a great job, like, just making you hate him.
Yeah. I've been a fan of his since Skins, which you haven't seen, but I'm trying to make you watch it. Although I don't think it would have the same effect on an adult as it did on like a teenage Cassidy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I still, oh my god, when I want to spiral, I watch that show.
My god. Oh, does
No,
it
like
did
in
it
a
have
fun
to be
way.
called Skins?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Why is that? That's the
we literally just had this conversation before we started recording that, like, the word skin in a movie bothers me.
okay. Well,
I
it's not a
understand
movie, it's a
it's a
TV
TV
show.
show.
But also it's like, yeah, because it's I think it's like trying to get deeper than skin level on the characters, but also skins are like in the UK, that's what they call it, like when you like what you wrap marijuana in. So it's like it's a double
Oh.
entendre, you know, because they're all doing drugs all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, Nicholas Hoult,
Tangent.
big fan.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that his character went out exactly the way he deserved.
Yeah, I kind of wanted Margot to kill him,
Oh, true. Yeah, that would have been good.
but it was fine. I liked that he got honestly public humiliation kinks all around.
Mhm.
They seem to love that shit. It was wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like a touch of Gordon Ramsay in it too.
Yes, the chef calls someone a donkey, and I was like, that's a direct Gordon Ramsay
Yes.
reference for sure.
Yeah.
Big
Isn't it
fan of
was it
that.
Tyler that he called that? When he was, like, yelling at him and making fun of his food?
I can't remember if it was him or the guy that he cut the finger off of.
Or the Sioux that killed himself?
I don't think he called the Sioux a donkey,
Okay.
but
Either way,
that's
you're
why,
right.
yeah. Man, yeah. I also
Exactly.
noticed that so the food critic Lillian, at one point when they were outside, she was seen smoking. And at the beginning of the movie, we learn from Tyler, because Margot's smoking, he says that
Mhm.
smoking ruins your palate.
Ruins your palate.
And so I felt like that was a really like clever touch because like her whole thing was that she's giving bad reviews to restaurants and then they're shutting down. And so like how many
Yeah.
bad reviews did she give that weren't actually bad because her palate's fucked up?
Mhm.
So I
I
liked
didn't
that.
notice that.
Yeah.
Is it her that s she's a restaurateur, I think,
What do you mean?
isn't it? Somebody in the cast also owns
Owns a
restaurants.
restaurant? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it's Judith Light, the,
Okay.
the of the older couple, the wife.
Yes. The guy who
Never mind.
gets his finger cut off, his wife.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
wife.
Nice.
Mm.
Also, I don't want to say too much because I know you haven't seen it yet. It's definitely on our list, but I got a lot of like hints of Midsummer in this movie.
Is Midsummer a comedy
No,
too?
no, 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 not tone wise. Not tone wise at all.
Okay.
But I think you'll see what I mean when we watch that movie. That like there were just certain moments where I was like, oh, very Midsummer-esque. And I kept saying, because I watched it like with a bunch of friends and we were like
Mhm.
chatting about it as it happened. And I was like, Midsummer vibes? Midsummer vibes again. Big Midsummer vibes. So,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, I think you'll like Midsummer better. At least, I don't know. I hope. I love Midsummer too. So I'm gonna be sad if you keep hating all these movies that I really loved.
That's another thing though that we've been doing is I haven't really known your opinion on most of the movies that we've watched, which
Like
has
prior
been
to watching them, or
prior to watching them, like prior to
yeah,
talking about them. Um, you haven't really told me much, which has been interesting because until today, we've pretty much agreed.
yeah, yeah. I try not to like. There's a few movies that I can't help but like gush about. So like,
Well, yeah, of course.
you know, I love Midsummer. You know, I love Jennifer's Body. But like,
Mhm.
um, but I definitely try not to like say too much about my opinions on the movies before we watch them because I don't want that to influence your opinion. Like,
Yes, exactly.
if I had gushed about this movie and then you watched it and you were like, well, I can't be mean about it because Cassidy loves it so much, I'd be like,
Exactly.
oh.
This movie I didn't like so much that I'm fine talking shit about it whether you like it or not.
That's, you know what? It makes me a little sad, but it's okay.
Ugh, I do feel a little bad.
Oh, see, there we go. There it is.
Not that bad. Just I am the biggest fan of Ray Fiennes.
Mhm.
Like, Prince of Egypt, hello, fucking classic.
It is.
Harry Potter, um, I don't know, I was just expecting, like, something different out of him. And I think that that's really what the problem, like, what this all boils down to, is that I was just expecting something different.
Yeah. I feel like honestly there are I mean, we kind of already talked about it with A Quiet Place, how I said, like, the first time I watched that movie, I was disappointed. And I'm
Mhm.
glad that I got to rewatch it with different expectations because I liked it better the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
Um, and there's other movies on our list too that I'm hoping will have the same effect. Um,
Oh,
because yeah, when I watched it the first time, I was expecting something else and it's not what I got. And I was like grumpy about it when I was watching it. So then it kind of like spoiled it for me.
yeah.
But so I get that. I feel that. But I
So
love the
maybe it's an
bottom
us
line.
problem.
Yeah, we need to lower our expectations.
Okay. Okay. Alright.
Mine's more so
You know what?
like when I expect a movie not to be like supernatural or paranormal, and then I find out like halfway through the movie that it is, that's what kills it for me.
Yeah.
But I just need to
Still trying to
know,
figure out
need to look up genres before I watch a movie.
maybe that's maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe that's what I need to do too.
Yeah.
Because if I had gone into this knowing, "Don't take this seriously, don't read into it, it's not that, you know, above your head,"
Yeah.
then I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah. But I feel
Okay.
like at the bottom line, like it did have a good message. Like the point is just that like rich people ruin everything. They feel so
Yep.
entitled to everything. So nothing has meaning. And their constant exploitation of art makes artists lose their passion for it. Like
Mhm.
fine dining is bullshit, but cooking is an art. It's a craft, and we should appreciate those who do it well.
Yep.
It's
I
not
agree.
me. I had to Google how to make a grilled cheese. But that's not the point.
With mayonnaise, I hope.
What?
Mayonnaise
You put mayonnaise on your grilled cheese?
instead of butter.
Oh, no, 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 no.
This is a superior way to make a grilled cheese.
For you.
No, for literally anybody. I hate mayonnaise, but oh god, hello,
Good.
earthquake. Um, no, you heard it here first.
Okay.
Mayonnaise instead of butter on a grilled cheese is superior.
I'll have to ask Chef Julian about that.
You know what to do with the butter in a grilled cheese, right?
Yes, now
Oh, okay, just okay.
after I googled it. I okay, here's the thing. I knew how to make a grilled cheese, but I had to Google it to like make sure I was right before I did it.
That sounds fake.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's true. It's that's what happened. I was like, I think I put butter on the outside of it and then grill it up.
You were
But I
gonna
was
put the
like,
butter on the inside.
that sounds weird. No, I was gonna put it on the outside, but it felt weird. So I was like, maybe that's not right. And so I had to Google it to make sure that that was in fact correct. And it was. And then I proceeded on with my life.
You had to just to be clear,
Hmm.
you had to make sure
Yeah.
that you didn't have to put butter on the inside of a grilled cheese.
It wasn't that I was debating inside or outside. It was like butter or no butter at all.
Okay. Okay.
I like to skip steps.
Got it. Got it. You
I
know,
make
butter
mac and cheese out of a box and I don't put butter in it. I don't think you need it. And it's tasted fine my whole life. So just milk and a packet of cheese.
well, that's a choice.
I don't want to have to buy butter just to make mac and cheese. I don't
You
use
don't
butter
have to
for
buy
anything
butter.
else.
You can make butter.
I'm not gonna churn my own butter for mac and cheese.
You don't have a mixer?
No, I don't, Katie. I'm barely getting by in this life.
Okay. Well,
So was there anything you liked about this
anyway.
movie?
Yeah, no, I said I like the act I love the acting. I love
Okay.
the acting voices, the casting. Um, there were a couple of parts that were funny, which I enjoy a little, you know, release of tension.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that about does it. No, okay, no, I
Okay.
liked, no, that does it.
Oh, that's it, okay. I liked almost everything about this movie.
Okay,
But I do wish that it had a little bit more horror elements. Because at the end of the day, I feel like there was a lot more comedy than, like, actual horror moments. Like, I don't really even remember a time that I felt, like, tension or anything. Like, I was just kind of, like, having a blast the whole time, which was great.
okay,
But I feel like it would have been nice to have a little bit more of, like in Barbarian, where like there were actual moments where I was like kind of holding my breath a little, being like, "Oh fuck, what's gonna happen?" I don't feel like I got that in this one, but that's okay. It was a
okay.
different vibe, you know.
I did get a little bit of that
Okay,
because I
so
went into it thinking it was gonna be a scary movie, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's such a great movie, it's gonna be so scary." Um,
so how scary did you think it was?
I gave it a 2,
Okay,
so more than several of the movies we've watched. Um,
yeah,
I think I think it was mostly because of the suspense, like the kind of like you said, like holding your breath, like on the edge of your seat kind of thing. That was like scary to me. The worst part was when they were lowering the investor into the water and Chef just keeps screaming like, "Listen, listen." I'm like a little sensitive to certain sounds, and there could have been any number of sounds that were gonna come out of this guy.
yeah.
Um, and then they just like lowered him in the water. It was like incredibly anticlimactic. And I was scared for no
Yeah.
reason.
When we were
But I was
watching
scared.
it with when I watched it with friends, they were all like, "Are there sharks in there?" And I was like, "I don't think you need sharks to like just drown someone. Like you don't
Yeah.
there doesn't have to be sharks." He just never brought him back up after he put him in the water.
Yes.
I give it a
Yeah.
1. It didn't really scare me at all, but I
Okay.
think because I was just very much leaning into the whole comedy over the top ridiculousness
Yeah.
that I was like, "All right, it's not, you know." I was
You were
not
having a
taking
silly,
it
goofy.
seriously. I was having the silliest, goofiest time, let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Did you think
Well,
it was sexy at all?
um, food is just kind of like inherently sexy, right? And well,
I
I
literally
can see you
just
want to
said this
disagree.
before we started stream that like I don't like the idea of like food and the sexy time.
I'm not saying that food needs to be incorporated into sexy time,
That's
but
fine.
just to be
It
clear.
can be like to each their own. I don't want a
Yes.
UTI. That's my own business.
Okay. D That's not exactly where I was going with this, but, anyway, you know how people say, like, like, refined, fancy things are, like, sexy.
Mm,
Like, the cinematography as far as the food was concerned,
okay.
and that cheeseburger at the end
See,
did
that
it for
one
me.
threw me off. I was like, the no ketchup, no lettuce, no tomato. The no ketchup was the worst. No ketchup
Yeah,
on a
okay.
hamburger? I'm not eating bun and burger, babe. Like I
It was
I need
it
some
was like a
sauce.
good grease, like,
I need some sauce.
okay, that's okay.
So what did you rate it?
Oh, sorry, a 3.
Oh, a 3.
Mhm.
This was a sexy movie for you, huh?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Um,
Okay. I gave it a
food.
2. I did
Okay.
not find the food very sexy at all, but I did give it 1 point, like a bump for Anya Taylor Joy and that lace satin dress. She was very beautiful, and I really liked that dress a lot. So, she made it a little
Yeah.
sexy.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's true. Um, the speaking of the cinematography, it was literally the director admitted the movie was filmed like an episode of Chef's Table, which is like a super like sexy, sleek show,
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. I love though that they did that they filmed it like a food show.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Mhm. How fucked up did you think it was?
I said 1 out of 5.
Are you kidding me?
I just didn't I think because it was so, like, campy and goofy that it didn't hit the same, you know? I'm not gonna think about
Campy and goofy?
yeah, it was yeah. It was over the top. It was ridiculous. It was funny. It didn't I don't know.
What is your definition of campy?
Campy is like not taking yourself too seriously, you know? Like making a a joke about your own like absurdly exaggerated. That's camp. This movie was absurdly exaggerated.
Okay. See, when I think of campy, I think like low budget, not a whole lot of special effects.
See, I think you're thinking more of like a B movie. Like
Yeah.
a B movie is a low budget commercial motion picture. Like it's
Yeah.
usually like a yeah. So like camp and B movies do go hand in hand a lot, but they don't have to.
Okay, so I'm really glad that we're having this conversation
Yeah.
because we've released what, 8 episodes now, and I just found out what campy meant.
You know what though? That's good. We're learning something.
Okay.
Yeah, camp doesn't have to be low budget. It can sometimes look like there's definitely like a style of camp, like when you dress campy, and then it can kind of like look low budget because it's like exaggerated and goofy.
So when I think dressing campy,
Yeah.
I think like lumberjack flannels, baggy jeans, the beanie that you're wearing right now.
No.
Okay? Enlighten me.
I'm gonna send you some images and you can
Okay.
see
I
how
think
you
it's
feel
the
about
word
it.
camp.
You're
I think it
thinking about
really is the
you're
word
thinking about someone going camping. Wrong.
maybe.
Wrong. No.
I think that might be where my confusion is.
If you dressed up as a tent to like a red carpet event, that would be camp. But going camping and dressing for that is not camp.
So, okay, let me give you some campy movies.
Okay.
Friday the 13th,
Mm, no. That
Ginger
again, you're
Snaps.
thinking they're going to a camp. That doesn't mean that it's
Oh, no.
oh my
Shit.
god. I'm
I de
literally gonna start crying.
I s I all this time, I've subconsciously thought that I've used this word.
Yeah, but I feel
I've
like when you
used the word
used it
camp.
before, it was like correct. It wasn't.
I think ginger snaps I called campy.
Ginger Snaps was a little campy.
Okay. I'm gonna look up the definition of campy.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you there's like several people that I follow on TikTok that do like camp outfits. And I'm gonna send you, yeah. I'll send you some
So I
links.
to my credit,
Mhm.
the definition of campy
Yeah.
is another word for camp,
Well, yeah.
but adjective camp. Okay, so now we got okay.
Yes, campy is also like going camping, but in this sense, that's not what we're using it for.
Okay. Okay. I was wrong. I'll admit that now.
Mhm.
Deliberately exaggerated and theatrical in style, typically for humorous effect. This is the campiest movie we've watched.
That's literally what I said, and then you said, "What do you think
I'm
camp
s
means?"
I'm
And now we've come full circle.
and here we are.
Yeah,
No, this is the campiest movie we've watched,
I know.
definitely.
Thank you.
I'm agreeing with you.
So
Just
there we go,
take it.
though. That's why I didn't think it was that fucked up, though, because like it was so campy that it was like it just wasn't. Yeah, it didn't make me fucked up that much.
Okay.
I'm
So
glad that we
so
figured this out together.
now and not more than 8 episodes into the podcast about horror movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So overall, how did you
well, I didn't tell you how fucked up I thought it was.
Oh yeah, you didn't. How fucked up did you think it was?
You gave it a 1?
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
The suicides, the child abuse, the verbal abuse, the gore, it's like one
Yes.
of the most trigger heavy movies that we've watched to date. It's fucked.
I will agree. There is quite a bit of suicide. So if that is a trigger for you, like I hope you looked it up beforehand because we've mentioned it quite a few times. So
Yeah.
that's fair. But I didn't think the gore was excessive. Um I think because the child abuse was kind of mentioned offhandedly, it wasn't like not that in any capacity that's fucked up, right? But like I think yeah, in terms of like horror movies I've seen before, like this was not
Okay.
it wasn't yeah, it didn't impact me that much, I guess.
I think this is the highest
Yeah.
I've rated something,
Yeah.
and that tracks for me. That like, thinking back, I don't think anything else was more fucked up than but again, maybe I'm the problem because I went into it thinking it was gonna be fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like if you're taking the movie very seriously, it feels more fucked up than if you're taking it as a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that my mom texted me the other day and she said, "Dad and I are watching The
Yeah.
Menu with Ray Fiennes."
Did she ever tell you what she thought about it?
No, she fell asleep, thank God.
Oh, yeah. Your
Yeah.
favorite movie
This
is
is
Mary Poppins. It's probably not for you.
exactly.
Although who knows? Who's to say? Maybe she would take it as a comedy and be just having a silly goofy time like me, you know?
Maybe. Seriously doubt it. She's also the woman that I'm pretty sure the only scary movie that she's ever seen is Signs, and she had at like 35 years old had to sleep with the lights on.
That's fair. That movie scared me when I was a kid and I watched it.
She was 35.
Yeah, we're different people. I can't even. What year did that come out? Like 2001 or something?
Yeah, I was a kid. I remember
I
Well,
think
if you were a kid, I was a kid,
oh,
obviously.
2020 or 2002. Yeah, so I watched Signs when I was 9.
Mhm.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Well, it's
I
definitely
still
on my
haven't seen
list.
it. Okay, good. Okay, good.
All right,
Is
I'm
it a horror
guessing.
movie or is it a thriller?
No, it's like a sci-fi horror movie, right? That
Okay.
counts. Yeah, science fiction horror. It counts.
Good. Good.
I'm guessing overall, you gave it a fairly low score.
I gave it a 2.
Okay. I thought it was
It
gonna be
was
a 1, so I'll take it too.
no, it wasn't. I mean, I 2 is the lowest I've rated something, I think.
Yeah,
It was still pretty bad. But I mean, I did it to myself, but it was over my head. I don't wanna have to read about a movie to understand it. That's what books are for.
that's fair. I I gave it a 4. I thought it was so entertaining. I found it really funny and weird, and the performances were fantastic. I had a great time. I'm not gonna hold you up. I really enjoyed it.
Well, but it wasn't a
I
5.
No, because I do think like when I compare it to like Barbarian was a 5 for me, right? And when I compare the two, I did like Barbarian more.
Mm,
Um,
did
but I did really like the menu. I'll watch it again. Like I thought it was such a blast.
maybe I should watch it again.
You know,
No, wait, now.
I think you should give yourself time
Yeah,
and
give a few
then
yeah, a few
yeah,
months.
yeah. Because I think if you watch it too close together, you're just gonna see the same thing. But if you
Yeah,
give
true.
yourself time and then watch it knowing it's supposed to be funny, and maybe watch it in a group too, because honestly, like I watched it with a group of people, and we were having so much fun watching that movie. Like we were all just like chatting and laughing about it, and like we had a ball.
I mean, I watched it with Dylan. First of all, you assume that I have people to watch a movie with that aren't you. Second of all, I
You're
watched it with
in the Discord group that we all watched it together in, so you
that's true.
did have a group to watch it with.
That okay, fair. So I was imagining you, like, on your couch watching it with people, not
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Discord. Okay, second of all, I watched it with Dylan, and we had a great time imagining Sid the Sloth saying the things that were coming out of the washed up actor's mouth.
I love
Not
that for you too.
to be clear, the washed up actor in the movie, not the actor that portrayed.
Yes, John
Yeah.
Leguizamo. I think that's how
Yes,
you
thank
say
you.
his name. I hope I said that correctly. But
I always wanna say Joey Logano, and that's a NASCAR racer, so I was gonna not say it out loud.
yeah, that's incorrect. All right, the age-old
Mm.
question, Katie. Would you survive?
Okay, you should go first. I always go first. Would you survive?
Oh, okay. I don't think so. Um, in reality, I would never spend $1,200 on a meal, so I again would not be there in the first place. But that's
Word
cheating.
for word what I said.
Yeah, that's cheating. So if I was there, let's say, I mean, I guess the person I would most likely be would be Margot, right? There as a guest. Um, Elsa probably would have kicked my ass. They got into a fight at one point, life or
Mhm.
death. I think I would have lost that fight. Also, even if she didn't, I don't think that I would have even thought to have asked him to make a cheeseburger in order to
Right.
like save myself. Like I just don't think that would have clicked in my brain. I would have accepted my fate much sooner. And also, I am a big fan of s'mores, so if I knew that was on the menu, I'd be like, well, let's hang out for a minute. Let's see what we got.
Yep. I'm also a huge fan of s'mores.
Thank you.
I fucking love s'mores. It's like my favorite dessert.
This caused a big s'mores discourse in our Discord. There were some
Do people not
s'mores,
like them?
yeah, there were some s'mores haters. Don't worry, I'm kicking them out. But
Okay. I was gonna say, kick them. Um, No, I use the exact same logic as you. Like, I'm not spending thousands of dollars to eat on well, at least at the income I make now.
Yeah.
Maybe I would spend that much just to say that I had the experience later in
I
life
don't think
if
I
I
w I
make
feel like
more.
there's just other things that I would spend $1,200 on. That's a vacation.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Um, no, I'd be dead. 10 out of 10, I'd be toast. Literally, I would be a toasted
Literally, you'd you'd be toast.
marshmallow. Do you say toasted marshmallow or roasted marshmallow?
I feel like it depends on, like, my mood.
Okay.
Like, if I'm like, "Oh, that marshmallow looks very toasted," or like, "Oh, I'm roasting marshmallows on a fire."
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it
Fair.
depends on the context. But I'm also, like, one of the people who, like, set I interchangeably use, like, aunt and aunt, caramel and caramel. I'll use any of them depending on, like, my vibes that day, so
Okay.
I said that to my friend once and she didn't believe me until, like, months later, and I used aunt and aunt in the exact same sentence, and she was like, "What the fuck?"
Have you ever taken that quiz that tries to pinpoint where you're from?
Mhm.
Did I get it right?
No.
Okay. You probably confused it.
I did, I think. I confused it a lot. But luckily there were, like, options of, like, "Oh, I say both." Because I grew up in Colorado and Iowa, and then now I live in Los Angeles, so it's like, I'll say, like, pop sometimes, I'll say soda sometimes.
Mhm.
At least I
Yeah.
don't say Coke. Fucking Texans.
Right? That's like calling every water ocean.
Yeah. I not Texans are fine. I just have a friend from there, so when he listens to this, I want him to be upset.
Yeah, just to be clear, we don't have anything against Texans
No, no, no. I
specifically.
just have something against Caleb. Just
Uh,
yeah. Well, I mean, this was a good exercise, I think. We don't always have to agree. I'm sad you didn't like it, but I also understand because I feel like this is a movie where like I feel like a lot of people probably went into it being like, What the fuck?"
mm, yeah.
um, yeah. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, no.
Alright.
But the thing that's been stuck in my head ever since we watched this movie,
Mhm.
Ralph Fiennes.
Yes, Katie
There's a
has a video that's a mispronunciation. It's supposed to be teaching you how to pronounce it, but it's obviously incorrect.
yes.
It says
It's just so it's
Fiennes. Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
It just gets stuck in my head.
Well, now everybody knows how to say Rafe Fiennes. Rafe Fiennes,
Fines.
sorry. Fines.
Not everybody,
Not
clearly.
me. I don't know how to say it, but I'll get there one day.
Ray Fiennes. Ray
Rafe
Fiennes.
Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes.
The more you know.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for today. If there are any movies you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know in the comments or shoot us a DM on our socials.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week when we talk about Ari Aster's feature directorial debut, Hereditary. Bye.